Don Keith here on an early London morning with my friend Tommy Robinson on our way to court. Tommy, yesterday, one of the things that shocked me, I heard these police officers, they were just stepping all over themselves with the things they did wrong when they detained you for this terrorism charge. Two of the things actually I heard that they did, and the reason that they decided to hold you on terrorism legislation, one, that you were driving alone, the other, that you bought your ticket there at the end of the tunnel. Those are the two of the main reasons they decided to hold you as a terrorist. What did you think about that?
Do you know anyone who knows me as well? I don't book anything, do I? So no. I message them, book this, do this, because I don't go online and do anything. I just drive places. So if I was getting a ticket for something, because that's all it was. I drove to the port. There's a little thing you go to, and you buy your ticket. That's not suspicious, is it? How's that suspicious?
Yeah, it's not.
And then you're just driving on your own. I'm always on my own.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I was actually delivering a car, and they didn't mention the car again. It wasn't my car. I had the logbook, had the owner on the phone, ready to talk to them. They didn't want to talk to him, didn't want to look at logbook. They didn't care about the car. It was all nonsense. So they said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm just delivering this car to south of Spain and coming back in 2 days."
One of the other things I witnessed yesterday that I was shocked by in the courtroom, we saw your confrontation, which is very famous now because it's all over Twitter, with the reporter from the BBC, Daniel Sanford. Now, one of the things the public may not know is that myself, Ezra Levant, and the rest of us, we were sitting directly behind Daniel Sanford and some of the rest of the left-wing media. We saw them scrolling our Twitter. They scrolled my Twitter, they scrolled Ezra's Twitter, they scrolled yours. And then we saw them, after scrolling our Twitters and seeing that we were tweeting there.
They said that I was tweeting, because my solicitor came over to me and said, "Look, someone's reported that you're sitting in here tweeting because there's tweets going off of your feed." I said, "But I'm not tweeting, that's other people tweeting. I ain't picked my phone up." So that's him.
Yeah, we saw him, after they scrolled, we saw him get up and go to the court clerk and the prosecutor and tell him that the rest of us, other journalists, were live tweeting. Now, how is that any semblance? In a democracy, one of the defining characteristics of a democracy is a free press. How does that make you feel to see the press in your country now telling on other journalists so they can't report other citizen journalists?
They've done it for a specific reason. If you read the reporting, which I've read now, the reporting of the mainstream media, they haven't highlighted any of the unlawful things the police done, any of the real outrageous things, like they made the decision within 30 seconds to detain me under the Terrorism Act. They meant to question you. So, which he says he questioned me in his statement, but then when you see on camera, it's 30 seconds. So he just asked me where I'm going. So there was nothing suspicious. He said he acted suspiciously. How can I act suspiciously? He asked me one question. But then they don't want the public to get any of the information that you, Ezra, or other citizen journalists were putting out there, which is embarrassing for the police and embarrassing for counter-terrorism and embarrassing for the government. So they want to control the narrative. So how do they do that? And they shut everyone else up. And the judge played his part in that by shutting everyone up, because he prevented everyone from live tweeting. And if you're live tweeting, the answer to our problems is citizen journalism. It is making sure, because if there was no Ezra Levant, if there was no you, if there was no people in there yesterday live reporting, the only narrative we'd have is that of the mainstream media, which we've seen the headlines today. I've looked at them. It's just absolutely insane what they've come out of that courtroom with. But we'll see what happens this morning.
Last question. Based on everything you saw yesterday, what do you expect to see happen today?
I expect you to get detained and arrested when we get
Let's leave that part out, shall
we? I expect to be right in shooting.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
I expect a not guilty verdict. I have to. It has to be. It has to be. When it went through, just the one point in the afternoon was when the officer accepted and the judge clarified with him that my detainment couldn't have been lawful because he hadn't done certain things, and he actually confirmed, So then on the dock, well, how could his detainment have been lawful then? And he said, well, it couldn't have been.
I know I said last question, but you got a big trip coming up to Israel, 10-day trip. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to go forge links and make alliances with people on the front line of the fight against jihad. That's it. And it's a state visit, which is going to be interesting for me, because what they've tried to do is marginalise our voice and make us toxic, and friends outside of the United Kingdom, from America to European politicians to now Israel, are recognising our voice, recognising our community and recognising our movement. It's going to be good. It's gonna
Tommy
be good. I'm
Robinson.
yeah.
Thank you, man.
Cheers.
Good luck to you,
Yeah,
brother.
thanks for coming,
See
bro.
you, brother. Yep, absolutely.
In this interview, Tommy Robinson portrays himself as a victim of political overreach and media manipulation. Speaking with Don Keith on his way to court, Robinson ridicules the police for labeling him a terror suspect over trivial details. Driving alone and buying a ferry ticket, suggesting the charges were fabricated to silence him. He also accuses the BBC and mainstream media of colluding with authorities to suppress independent reporting, framing it as an attack on free press and citizen journalism. The conversation highlights Robinson's ongoing narrative of persecution, a defiant stance against what he sees as a corrupt system weaponizing counterterrorism laws to target dissent. His upcoming trip to Israel, which he frames as a diplomatic and ideological mission, reinforces his attempt to rebrand himself as an international voice against extremism. Ultimately, the exchange captures the tension between institutional power and anti-establishment activism, with Robinson using that tension to fuel his populist credibility.
Before the Minister, I will wish to make a brief statement. Members will know that I've already put on record my disappointment that the charges against 2 individuals relating to espionage for the Chinese authorities have been dropped. Not only disappointment, but I'm very angry. It is of the utmost importance to me that all those who work in this Parliament are able to undertake their activities securely and without interference. I continue to seek advice from officials on what further steps might be taken to pursue the issue in other ways. I will be issuing an updated security guidance to members later today. I think there is something the government ought to be aware of. It is this Parliament that has been spied on. It is MPs who have been here. It is MPs' offices that have been infiltrated. And as it stands, what we have seen is the payment for spying on what I believe we should be protected. At this moment, I feel we haven't had the protection. I certainly don't blame the Minister. I know that he will be answering a lot in his statement and taking many questions. But I do want to put on record, I'm angry, I'm disappointed. My job is to protect Parliament. I feel we aren't getting that protection. I now call the Security Minister, Dan Jarvis.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The revelation from Commons Speaker that individuals were paid to spy on the UK Parliament marks a stunning moment in British politics. A direct admission that foreign or internal actors may have penetrated the very heart of democracy. His blunt tone, not mincing his words, signals both anger and urgency, breaking from the usual cautious language of Westminster. This statement exposes a deep vulnerability within Parliament and raises grave questions about national security, political accountability, and foreign influence. More importantly, it reflects a growing fear that espionage and corruption have reached the core of government itself, eroding public trust in the institutions meant to protect Britain's sovereignty.